I used to live in an old duplex, a creaky house converted into 2 apartments. My side had a kitchen, living room, bedroom, and bathroom, with a small entryway downstairs. The other side mirrored mine, but I never knew who lived there. The rent was cheap, and the location was convenient for my work. For the first few months, everything seemed normal. I spent most of my time at work, and when I was home, nothing out of the ordinary happened. One night, I woke up suddenly. I chalked it up to a bad dream and went back to sleep. But it happened again, and again. Each time, I woke with a jolt, heart pounding, but there were no sounds, no disturbances, just an unsettling silence. The routine of waking up in the middle of the night became frequent. At first, I dismissed it as stress or nightmares. But then, I started hearing faint noises, almost like whispers or the creak of floorboards, but never loud enough to be certain. One night, however, was different. I woke up, wide awake. My room was pitch dark, the only light coming from the street lamp outside, casting eerie shadows through the curtains. I heard a faint creak, like the sound of a door slowly opening. My bedroom door. I turned my head, eyes straining in the dark. There, in the doorway, a shadowy figure stood. My blood ran cold. It was a man, but I couldn't make out any details. He stood still for a moment, then stepped into the room. My heart was pounding so hard I thought it would burst out of my chest. I was paralyzed with fear, unable to move or make a sound. The man lifted something, a camera. The flash went off, momentarily blinding me. He took a picture of me. Then, as silently as he had come, he turned and left. I heard the faint creaking of the floorboards in the hallway, the soft click of a door closing. I lay there, too terrified to move, for what felt like hours. Eventually, I got up and checked my apartment. It was empty. I checked every corner, every shadow, but he was gone. The realization that someone had been in my room, watching me sleep, taking pictures of me, left me utterly terrified. The next day, exhausted and shaken, I called the management. I explained what had happened, but they seemed skeptical. I was determined to find out how he got in. At the end of the hallway, past my bedroom, there was a door leading to the neighboring apartment. It was supposed to be locked and unused, but that night, I discovered it wasn't. The paint and the table in front of it had hidden it well, but it was clear now. The man had come through that door. The thought that he had such easy access to my apartment was horrifying. I couldn't stay there anymore. I packed my things and stayed with a friend while I looked for a new place. A few days later, I heard that the man had been caught. He had been living next door, slipping into my apartment at night. The times I woke up before must have been when he was leaving, quietly closing the door behind him. Knowing he had been watching me for who knows how long made my skin crawl. The invasion of my privacy and the thought of what could have happened if I had confronted him filled me with dread. The memory of that night still haunts me. The flash of the camera, the silhouette in the doorway, it's something I will never forget. Living in that apartment was the most horrifying experience of my life, a real-life nightmare that I hope never to relive. Even now, in my new, secure apartment, I often find myself double-checking the locks and waking up in the middle of the night, heart racing, ears straining for any sound. The fear has embedded itself deep within me, a constant reminder of that chilling encounter. It's strange how quickly a place that felt like home can become a place of terror. The duplex, once a quaint and convenient residence, turned into a house of horrors. Each creak of the floorboards, each whisper of the wind, would send shivers down my spine. I often wonder what drove the man to invade my space, to watch me as I slept, to take those pictures. Was it a twisted sense of curiosity, or something more sinister? I later found out that the man had a history of breaking and entering. He had done similar things in other places, but never had he been so bold as to take pictures of his victims. Knowing this added another layer of fear to my memories. The idea that someone could be so brazen, so utterly devoid of any moral compass, was almost too much to bear. The experience changed me. I became more cautious, more aware of my surroundings. I installed extra locks on my doors, security cameras in my new apartment, and made sure to never let my guard down. But despite these precautions, the fear never fully goes away. It's always there, lurking in the back of my mind. A reminder that sometimes, the real monsters are not the ones we read about in stories, but the ones who walk among us.